If you are thinking of resigning from the GEPF and you want to avoid some of the mistakes that members have made in the past, this video is perfect for you. Now, I'm sharing 3 secret tips that you can implement right now in order to ensure that your resignation from GEPF becomes a resounding success. Now, maybe there are some elements that concerns you when it comes to resigning from GEPF. Perhaps you're concerned about tax. What could the tax amount to? And what steps can you take to even avoid some of this tax? Or do you feel like you're stuck and you just have to pay it? When it comes to investing, are you concerned about losing money in the markets? Are you concerned that there could be a crash? Or maybe just this fear that your income could fluctuate. And again, how do you manage without it? Or perhaps you're just concerned about where do you get started? So what's the next step to take in order to ensure that resignation works well? Or what's the step thereafter? So almost like you're feeling overwhelmed that there's so many things to do. And again, you're just not sure where to get started. Now, these 3 secrets are going to help you chart the way, right? So let's get started straight away with the first secret. And I want to start with something really powerful today. So I'm sharing with you a tax secret. And the main issue when it comes to resignation planning is when you actually get started with this, right? So this is the period that you are in right now. I'll say this is your period now. And there's a time when you actually want to resign. And we're not exactly sure when that is going to be. So we could label that as X. Now you want to get a date to this so you understand the number of months that you have available, right? In my example, I'm going to say that this could be December. And let's assume that now is your January, right? So you know that you've got a 12-month period with which to position your planning. So this is the key step. You want to get yourself to a definite date when you want to actually stop working. And then you want to look at the time period that you have available. Now, from a tax planning perspective, tax planning has to start before you actually head into resigning. Meaning, if you want to get yourself to a position where you can pay the least possible tax, it just means that you've got to start planning way ahead of time. The problem is most members tend to leave the tax planning for the last moment. And if you have a month or 2 left before you're having to resign, you then have to trust that the financial planner is giving you the right advice. And with financial planning not being a tangible product, meaning you can't see financial advice, you can't touch financial planning, you have to trust that the advice is giving you the right information, and you only find out at a later stage whether it was right or not. By then, it's too late. If you've lost money here, post-resignation, you can't recover those taxes in most instances. So what steps can you put in place right now to ensure that it's going to be a lot better for you from a tax planning perspective? So you almost want to test your financial planner out, right? You want to test to see the guidance that you'll be given now so that you have some sort of indication as to what sort of tax planning would take place later on. So the way to test, again, is very, very easy. You run your test before you end up leaving. Now, ideally, you want to try and do this as early as possible. So if you can do 12 months, if you can do 24 months, I've had some members doing 36 months on this particular exercise, and it works beautifully because it allows a long period of time. Now, what's the secret? The secret is in terms of how the tax year runs. Tax year runs from March all the way up to Feb each year. Now, what you want to do is get some type of guidance, some type of tax planning to be done now inside of this period, right? So you have some tax planning done here. And the purpose of that tax planning is to save you on tax, right? And this is money that you're paying right now, meaning you're not yet resigning, right? That's to come in the future. But at the moment, you are paying tax on your salary. You are paying tax in other areas. So you want to test the financial planner out by getting some type of tax saving techniques or tips right now that you can implement straight away. Once you implement those strategies here, you then will start to see the benefit of that in your tax return, which you submit around about July. Meaning, if the advice is structured correctly, if you're given good advice that helps you to save on tax, it means in the end, your refund would be a higher refund. Or if you are not getting a refund, maybe now you'd be getting a refund because of the advice that you've been given. So when you structure it in this way, when you do the tax planning like this, you're getting an experience from that financial planner in terms of how good they are with tax planning. If they're able to save you some bit of tax here inside of this period, then you know when they do the resignation planning, they can put you in a stronger position to save you on tax. If they're not in a position to save you on tax now, what are the chances of them being in a position to save you on tax later on when you resign? So you want to give that thought. The second secret that I want to share with you comes in terms of investing. Now, maybe you're afraid of the markets, maybe you've had an unpleasant experience with the markets, and what steps can you put in place right now in order to ensure that your investment experience is going to be a lot better? Again, the exercise is extremely simple. You want to do a small test right now, meaning imagine if you had done an investment right now and the investment was structured in such a way that the capital is starting to increase. So let's say I created a solution for you, and I'm showing you that every month we're reviewing this investment, it's growing. So we look at this month on month, and each month you can see that the money is growing. How would you feel about investing now? Definitely a lot more confident. And if I constantly do that on a monthly basis, later on when you get to your lump sum and you're investing, are you more confident now with investing in the markets? Of course, because you've had an experience here that showed you the path. What's the problem? The problem is most members who want to resign are leaving that investment experience to the last moment. Now, you have to bear in mind that the markets operate in this way, right? There's an ebb and flow. And it's hard to know when the markets are not performing well and when it is performing well. But what I want to share with you is investing in the market is just one area. It's just one area of financial planning. In order to grow wealth, there must be multiple techniques that must be implemented in order to ensure it's working well. Meaning, you can grow your wealth using tax savings. See, if you're paying less tax, you're growing your money. You can grow your money if you are reducing your costs. See, you can grow your money if you are saving on policies or investments that you no longer need. So you're saving premiums. It's all different strategies that can be employed to save you on tax, save you on costs, and just give you a better investment experience. So you're not hinging everything just on how the markets operate, right? The markets are just one area of financial planning. So what's the secret? Simple. Again, you run a small test. So let's assume you do a small investment now, you monitor the investment, but don't monitor the investment on a yearly basis because a lot can happen inside of a year. You actually want to track the investment on a monthly basis. So when I structure this for members who want to resign, I'm structuring this on a monthly basis. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to keep convincing you, keep assuring you that the strategy that I put in place is going to work out well for you. And the best way for me to do this is not by you taking my word for it, by me actually producing a statement so you can see the actual results of the investment that you've structured. Now, you don't have to start something new because you may already have an existing investment in place. Maybe you've got a retirement annuity, maybe you've got some other savings in place. So you want to go and look at what the experience is of that investment. If you are losing money in that investment, then you're going to start to feel concerned at the time of you resigning. You're going to be worried. But you can turn that opportunity around. You can have that investment reviewed. And you have that investment reviewed, you put it into the right strategy, you get the proper guidance. And if that investment now starts to grow, you then put yourself in a position where you have a better experience when you resign. Because you're not starting from scratch, you're continuing on the good work that you built a while ago. So again, on investing, it's easy. You just start doing a small investment before you resign, and you use that to monitor the advice that you're being given on the financial planner side. The third secret I want to share with you is what I call big picture planning. Now, I see this mistake happening with members all the time, or members who have lost a lot of money. You want to look at this from a broader perspective, right? So when you're engaging with a financial planner, what I've noticed where the mistake comes in is if the financial planner is only focusing on money that's coming from GEPF, right? Meaning the advice is sort of close to everything else. This can be detrimental to you. It's not big picture planning. You've got to bear in mind that GEPF is just one piece of a puzzle, that money that you have sitting inside there. You could have other pieces to this puzzle, right? You could have a retirement annuity. You might have some investments. Maybe you've got some savings that's sitting inside a bank product. So you've got something that's sitting inside a bank. Maybe you've got policies in place. This could be a life cover. It could be some kind of income protection or disability cover that you've taken out a while ago, and now it needs some type of reviewing, right? An assessment to see whether the benefits are still the same or still of value. You might need some support in terms of medical aid. Maybe you've got a spouse and your spouse needs some support as well, because what takes place for you is going to impact your spouse. So if you're getting big picture planning, you want to make sure that the both of you are in the best and strongest position possible. You also would need some guidance in terms of tax planning, not necessarily just around the money that sits with GEPF, but what about tax planning right now while you are earning a salary? What about tax planning in the event of you passing away? So you want to look at multiple areas here, not just focus yourself in one specific area. You're going to need some guidance in terms of investing. How do you invest in the markets? How do you ensure that the capital is going to be protected? What about the things that are important to you? So your dreams or your goals. When big picture planning is done, the focus is not exclusively just on money that sits with GEPF. It's just how you're going to pay for the service of financial planning, right? But for financial planning to be proper, you actually want this thing to encompass every single area that is important to you. And when you get big picture planning done, when you do it the way that I'm showing you here, and you have everything taken into account, this is how you're going to start to feel a lot more relaxed about your resignation planning. And you're not going to have those questions in your mind doubting whether things are going to work out or not going to work out. Because each time you have a situation, something that's concerning you, you reach out to your financial planner to get that kind of support. And the financial planner can then add it to the notes and start to create strategies for you. So the 3 secrets that I'm sharing with you today are just about showing you the importance of doing early planning, right? You want to look at structuring your resignation planning as early as possible, and you implement some small things right now to put yourself in a stronger position in the end. Now, I'm Devanika, and I specialize in helping GEPF members live the best life possible with the funds that they have. If you're needing a solution in terms of resignation planning, welcome you to reach out to me via email, or you can post a comment below and I can offer you more assistance in terms of your guidance. Now, if you've not already done so, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that you get the latest videos as soon as we put them out. Remember to click the thumbs up and also to post your comments below. I want to hear from you how these secrets are helping you in terms of your strategy. Which secret do you find most appealing and which one you're going to implement right now?